comments regarding the decision of District Attorney John Chisholm to charge Dominique Heaggan-Brown today with the crime of first-degree reckless homicide. First, I think it's important to note that the evidence that the District Attorney based his decision on was primarily provided by the cameras, the body cameras that were worn by the Milwaukee police. This demonstrates, I think, for the public, it demonstrates for the police, demonstrates for everyone that the decision that we made, that my administration made several years ago, to equip our police officers with body cameras was going to be one that was going to be beneficial to the police officers and to the public. And you may recall at that time that there were no objections from the Milwaukee Police Association. In fact, I think the feeling then, and continues to be, that in most instances, the body cameras worn by our police officers will actually vindicate our police officers for the actions that they have taken. Now, in this case, that did not happen. And both of the officers involved were wearing body cameras. Evidence was used by the district attorney from body cameras that both officers were wearing that I think helped him reach his decision that the second shot that was fired by Dominique Heaggan-Brown was the shot that was, from his standpoint, the district attorney's standpoint, not warranted under the law, thus the decision to charge him with first-degree reckless homicide. As I said early on in this investigation, I felt and continue to believe that the video should be released. That, however, is not a decision that is made in this office. The release of the video is up to the district attorney and up to the courts. It's my understanding that it is now evidence in the court case that has been initiated by the district attorney. So it's going to be up to the district attorney, presumably with the judge and perhaps the defense attorney as to when that should be released. In terms of whether the question of whether these charges are justified, I think that that is something that is going to be debated for many, many years. When I first was brought into the scene for this, I was shown a picture, not a video, but a picture that was taken from the video of Dominique Heaggan-Brown, who in that picture had a gun, and you could see he was looking directly at, Sylville Smith had the gun, and he was looking directly at Dominique Heaggan-Brown. I made clear at that point that I had not seen the video, and up to this point, I still have not seen the video. I have not seen the video of that Dominique Heaggan-Brown had or the other police officer had. So I cannot at this point speak to the merits of it. Again, the district attorney obviously felt very strongly that the second shot, and there's a critical decision here between the first shot and the second shot. If you look at the complaint, I think that the district attorney believed that the first shot was a justified shot. It was at that point, apparently, again, not having seen the video, but having heard comments from individuals and looking at the criminal complaint, that was the point at which the gun went over the fence. There was a time period that lapsed. It was a very short time period, 1.69 seconds, but that was the time in which Mr. Smith was on the ground and when Mr. Heaggan-Brown made the decision to fire what proved to be the fatal shot. As you all know, there were only 2 shots that were fired, but clearly one of them was a fatal shot, and that was the one that he has been charged with. That would be the second shot as well. We now face a situation where there are 2 trials pending against Mr. Heaggan-Brown. You may or may not be aware that the Milwaukee Police and Fire Commission, as well as the police department, terminated his employment on October 31st of this year. The time period for him to appeal that firing has now lapsed. So he has not chosen to appeal his firing that was upheld by the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, the decision made by Chief Flynn, a decision that I supported at that time. Now, of course, the case is going to be before the judge and the jury, and the public hopefully at some point will have an opportunity to see these critical videos and make a decision for themselves. I understand, as I think everyone in this community, that this has been a very, very, very controversial issue. And my hope is that people understand that the system is working in the sense that you had the investigation that was done by the outside agency, you have the decision made by the district attorney to file charges. I'm sure that there will be some that will be happy with this decision, some that will be unhappy with this decision. But I think it's critical to note once again that one of the most important parts of this entire investigation was as a result of the body cameras that were worn by our Milwaukee police officers. If this case had occurred 10 years ago or 15 years ago, we would not have that evidence. So it's not a happy ending in any regard. There's no happy ending in this, and there never will be a happy ending in this case. But I think it's important to see that we take our responsibility very, very seriously to make sure that we have the ability to produce the evidence to make sure that we get the right decision.
Mayor, based on the